When you're able to group similar tasks together, you don't have to waste mental energy figuring out what to do next. You can stay in a flow state and things just get done faster. Hello, and welcome back to the Blissful Mompreneur podcast. I'm your host, Christina Hall, and I am so grateful you're tuning in today. As always, I'm here to help you create a life and a business that you love while still having the energy to be the mom you want to be. Today, I want to talk about something that's been a game changer for me and has really helped me keep my sanity as a mompreneur. And that technique is batching. If you've never heard of batching, it's essentially grouping similar tasks together to get them done in one go. And let me tell you, as a mompreneur, it's one of the most effective ways I found to stay productive without burning out. Life with kids is so unpredictable, and batching allows me to get ahead and stay ahead so I don't have to stress out when something unexpected comes up, like when my kids get sick or I lose childcare for a week. Batching has allowed me to make consistent progress in my business while keeping stress low. And in today's episode, I'm going to share exactly how batching has helped me and how you can use it in your own life to stay on top of everything without losing your mind in the process. So let's start with why batching is such a necessity for us mompreneurs. So as I mentioned before, life with kids is so unpredictable, and as a mom running a business, you know how quickly things can change. One minute, everything is going smoothly, and the next, your toddler gets sick. Your childcare falls through, or there's an unexpected situation that demands your attention. That's where batching comes in. Batching is a way to group similar tasks together, allowing you to knock out a big chunk of work in one focused session. It's incredibly effective because it minimizes context switching, meaning instead of jumping from one task to another task, you're staying focused on one thing for an extended period of time, which ultimately saves time and increases productivity. For me, batching allows me to get ahead and stay ahead so that when life throws a curveball, and trust me, it will, I don't have to stress about falling behind. And now these curveballs don't always just come from your family, they also can come from your business. So recently with Heart and Soul Music Academy, despite ordering the holiday gifts for our students a month and a half in advance, the gifts got lost in the mail. And I definitely had a little moment of panic. But what I did is I was able to find new gifts. I wrapped everything myself because there wasn't enough time for my admins to handle that part. And because I had stayed ahead in all the other aspects of the business, I had the time and was able to tackle this without losing sleep or having to give up time with my family. Another recent curveball was one of my admins recently left. And this time of year can be kind of busy at the studio because we have our annual holiday playlist event, and basically it's a virtual recital, which requires a lot of work from my admin team. So basically for every video that comes in, there's a lot of editing involved and uploading, and then also a lot of follow-ups between the teachers and the parents, and it's just a very admin heavy process. And while I was able to replace the admin that left, she's new and she's still kind of learning everything. So I love that I've been ahead on all of my work, and I'm able to jump in and support my team when needed so that not all of the work is falling on one of my admins. So this is why I just think batching is so invaluable. It just really helps you stay on top of things so that whether there's curveballs in your business or in your personal life, you're able to handle it with little to no stress. I've always been the type of person who loves to stay ahead. When I was in college, I would get my syllabus at the start of the semester, and then I would map out my plan to get everything done ahead of time. I never liked waiting until the last minute, and I certainly never wanted to stay up late cramming to finish an assignment. I feel and work so much better when I give myself space to breathe and time to get things done. And batching has really allowed me to create that space. It helps me stay ahead in my business so I'm not scrambling at the last minute. It reduces stress and ensures I'm not caught off guard when life happens. Now, I know it's not always easy to stay ahead, and as moms, we're juggling a million things every day. But batching really is one of the tools that has allowed me to keep my stress levels low and maintain my productivity even when unexpected things come up. One of the things I love most about batching is that it works across so many different areas of my business. Whether I'm planning creative content like podcasts and Instagram reels, recording podcasts, editing, or tackling more mindless tasks like bookkeeping and email marketing, batching has become my secret weapon for staying on top of everything. Now, you might be wondering, what types of tasks can you batch? And the truth is, almost everything in business can be batched in one way or another. Here's a look at the different categories of tasks I batch. So the first category is creative work. This includes things like planning my podcast episodes, brainstorming Instagram reels, writing the captions to go with those reels, writing marketing emails, rewriting the copy of my website. Anything that requires quiet, uninterrupted time kind of falls into that creative block. I like to tackle these kinds of things first thing in the morning before my kids wake up. Usually, though, that only gives me about an hour a day, and I still need more time. So also on Wednesdays and Fridays, while my daughter is at school, my son goes to my mom's for a little bit. And that gives me about 5 hours where I can have uninterrupted time to just focus on the creative work. I also use that time, Wednesdays and Fridays, to do recording. That's when I record this podcast, when I create videos for Instagram reels. These are basically just tasks that require focus and concentration, but more importantly, I need quiet time in my house so that I can record these things without having that outside noise. Editing is another task that works great in batches. So that includes editing this podcast, editing my reels. I typically reserve editing times for when my energy is a little bit lower, like in the afternoons. And it's something that I can do when my kids are home. So like on Thursdays, my mother-in-law comes over for about 2 hours to watch the kids in the afternoon. And I find usually then my energy is a little bit lower. So that's a really good time for me to tackle things like editing. And then if they come into the basement and interrupt me, it's not a huge issue. And then actually on the weekends, when everyone is home and there are a lot of interruptions, that's usually when I tackle more of the mindless tasks. So that includes bookkeeping, tracking metrics, responding to emails, and things like that. My weekly planning, I also do on the weekends when the kids are home. But anytime I'm doing like a bigger plan, like a quarterly plan or an annual plan, I usually do that during a time when people aren't around and I can work uninterrupted. And the last thing are team meetings. I usually try to batch those together. Like I meet with every single team member one-on-one once a quarter, and I usually set aside several blocks of time over the course of 2 days, and I just bang them out and I schedule them back to back so that I'm not interrupting my other time blocks for other types of work. So why is batching so powerful for avoiding stress? It all comes down to the mental space it gives you. When you're able to group similar tasks together, you don't have to waste mental energy figuring out what to do next. You can stay in a flow state and things just get done faster. Also, batching helps me avoid the stress of last-minute rushes. If I didn't batch, I'd probably spend my whole day jumping from task to task, feeling scattered and stressed about everything I still had to do. But because I batch, I can focus on what's most important and get ahead. This is especially crucial as a mompreneur because we're juggling family life, business, and everything in between. If I didn't batch, I'd be much more likely to feel overwhelmed and burnt out. So what's the secret to batching successfully? It's simple, really. It comes down to planning. You need to look at your to-do list and ask yourself, which of these tasks can I group together? From there, block out time on your calendar to batch those tasks and stay consistent with it. The more you do it, the more you'll get into a rhythm and the more successful your batching efforts will be. If I hadn't been batching my work in advance, I wouldn't have been able to step in and handle those last-minute curveballs like lost holiday gifts or stepping in when an admin left unexpectedly. I truly believe batching is one of the superpowers that can help mompreneurs balance the unpredictability of life while keeping their businesses running smoothly. It allows you to take control of your time, make space for creative work, and still be present with your family. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you're feeling inspired to start batching your tasks, I encourage you to take a look at your own to-do list and see where you can group tasks together. Give yourself grace and remember, it doesn't need to be perfect. Just take that first step and you'll see how much smoother your business and life can be. And don't forget to send me a DM on Instagram at the Blissful Mompreneur with one of your goals for 2025. I will check in with you once a week to see how you're doing and offer support completely free. I truly want to see you succeed. And if you're pregnant and planning for maternity leave, don't forget to grab my free 6-step maternity leave planning guide. It covers everything from how much time to take off to creating a financial plan. You'll find the link to this guide in the show notes. If you enjoyed today's episode, please share it with a fellow mompreneur who might benefit from the advice. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, click the notification bell, and leave a comment below letting me know your biggest takeaway. It helps me reach more amazing women just like you. Thank you again for being here, and until next time, keep pursuing your bliss.